Hey, AfterBuzzers, welcome to the MasterChef After Show. Tonight we're breaking down Season 7, Episode 7, Gordon's Masterclass. And don't worry, folks, we've got all the inside scoops because we've got Chef Manny on the show. Let's do this.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, look at that. A little rock lobster from the B-52s kicking in here. Has a little something to do with the whole episode. Hey, everybody, welcome to the MasterChef After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Look at that, we're going to be breaking down, as I said, Episode 7, Gordon's Masterclass. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. And I've got the lovely, talented, gone far too long, but so happy to have her back, Rhavin McSweaney.
Hey, everybody, it's your girl, Rhavin, with the V McSweaney, and you can find me at B Stays Busy.
And our lovely and talented Maria Provenzano. She is on assignment, as we like to say.
And we miss her very much.
Yes, but don't worry. I know Maria usually is always manning the chat room. Robin's got her laptop up here. She's able to hop in the chat room if you guys want to chime in with any questions for Chef Manny or just some thoughts about the episode. Please feel free to do so. Also, like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter. We'll continue the conversation even after the show's over. But as I mentioned right there in our little cold open for the show, we have a guest on this evening. And if you've been watching him this season, he is been so energetic and added a lot of fun.
Up.
Yes, turned up for the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Florida, we have Emmanuel Washington, or you know him better as Chef Manny FD right here. Yes. Look at that.
Manny in the house.
So, are you at the station right now, or are you at home?
I'm home. I got off this morning. Yeah, I'm off.
Oh, man, look at that. So, all right, let's just jump right into it. What were you a fan of MasterChef, and what made you decide to be to throw your hat in the ring and be on the show?
Okay, I've always been a fan of MasterChef, but I was like, you know what? I actually did a show before this. I was on Food Network's Cutthroat Kitchen. They did a Firefighters edition, and I won it. So I was like, you know what? I like this competitive cooking on TV. I said, what is something that I could go for that's pretty big, you know? And I said, you know what? I'm going for MasterChef back. I can take those suckers on. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this bad boy.
Now, is the secret to it, because I've watched many Cutthroat Kitchen episodes, is the secret to that just to be able to hold on to your money until the last round, then when you can just bury your opponent with all sorts of challenges they have to do?
Yeah, I actually did that. I waited to the last round. I had all my money to the last round. And then I pretty much used it all on the person. But it's about, you know, just don't come in and try to do everything on them. Just take it. Some people are so busy worried about, you know, I have a fork, and like, just deal with it. Just work it out. You know, that's what we do at the station all the time. You ain't got nothing, just work it out.
Make it do what it do.
Do, baby.
So now, how does cooking for a bunch of firemen, how did that kind of prep you to be able to think like, all right, I'm going to go in for this MasterChef audition and just kick butt?
Yeah. So I've been a firefighter for 9 years, and my dad's a firefighter. He's retired. He was a firefighter for 26 years, and he was also the firehouse cook. He's been cooking a whole bunch, so learned a lot from him. And he said, "Hey man, you got to cook when you get to the station." I'm like, I'm okay cook. When I first started the fire department, I kind of sucked. You know, I was okay doing meals. I said, man, I got to do better. You know, the next thing you know, I started doing my self-teaching and looking at Food Network and looking at just different things, looking at MasterChef, looking at all these things. I'm like, I got to take it up. So then the station I'm currently at now has 22 guys, and we have a full commercial kitchen, and I got pretty good at it. You know, with all this commercial kitchen stuff, it's pretty much like running a dinner service every night with 22 people. So I just got really good at cooking.
So I can imagine for those challenges, like for the wedding reception that we saw right there, for those big scale services, you feel more in your element in those situations.
Yeah, it's like the big stuff. Okay, so anything big stuff, okay, that's my element. You know, the small stuff, it's different. One, firefighters do not care about plating. So that was one of my pitfalls. It's like if you put slop in front, they'll eat it. But you know what I mean, it's got to be good slop. But they don't care about, you know, putting, you know, making it pretty and making it, you know, all the pieces and stuff. So that was the biggest thing. So, but anything with a large one, I knew that's my wheelhouse. I was like, all right, so I definitely got to attack these team challenges when I get them.
So now, when you're on the show to get the one of the 20 aprons there, they do all 4 firemen compete at the same time. So it's you and Eric and the 2 other gentlemen as well.
Right.
So what was that experience? Because usually they kind of change the format. Usually it's just one person, you go in, you make your meal, and you let the judges decide if you were good enough to get a white apron. But now you're competing against 3 other dudes. Yeah.
It was weird. It was totally different. You know, at first, I'm like, because I was just sitting there and I saw 3 other firefighters. And I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna put us against each other because we didn't know what was gonna happen. But then they're like, hey, all the firefighters, you're all going against each other. I'm like, well, that makes sense. So you're like, so you can do all your firehouse favors. I'm like, okay. Well, I know mine's is, my stake is going to be money. But I don't know what they're going to do. So it was really different because we were doing four entirely different dishes. So it was kind of nerve wracking because you didn't know what they're doing. And I was like, I know at least I have the most variety of everyone. So that's it was fun but scary at the same time because you know what to expect.
Well, I got to think it's got to be nice to be on the show. And while you may not have known Eric before the show, at least you have that common background of both being firehouse cooks. So at least you have that kind of thing to bond over as you're going through the competition.
Yeah, we came pretty close. Like I say, for these past episodes, they don't show it, but for pretty much when he was doing the challenge with the lobster, I was on his butt, like sitting there.
I saw that.
Hey, get together! You better not lose. I was like, I'm sitting there selling out, screaming at him the whole time. They didn't really show that stuff, man. But I was like, you better finish.
No, they definitely showed it. The camaraderie for that, I don't know, it sent me through the roof. I'm like, yes, get it. I just want to be on your team. I just want to be firehouse, group.
Yeah,
no, that doesn't sound good.
Me and Chef Eric are ebony and ivory.
Yeah. Yes, the yin and yang for the firefighters.
Now, one thing I liked is during the wedding reception, when your team wins and they throw the bouquet, you just race like a bandit and grab that bouquet, man.
It was almost before she threw it. You started running.
This year, because they don't show you because he threw lamb chops, man. I thought we lost. Because I knew the first batch of lamb I pulled out was raw. And I was like, oh, it's raw, guys. Hey, I need 10 minutes, guys. So give me 10 more minutes. And literally, within, as soon as I see Gordon Ramsay, beelining for me, he's like, Manny! I'm like, no. No. And he's like, God damn it, what is this? I'm like, it's raw, sir, it's raw. I know it's raw. I'm not looking like, I know it's raw. He's like, it's just raw. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, I can't say that you're wrong. So, but pretty much I thought we lost. So after all that craziness, and man, we lost, it's all because of me. We lost. It was like, oh man, we didn't lose. I'm sitting like we lost. So then pretty much I'm sitting like she ain't gonna throw it at us. I said, watch, if she throw it at us, I'm just gonna run around this thing. I thought it wasn't gonna win, but she threw it. I'm like, oh, it's us.
You really held yourself.
I just started running. I was just so joyous. I was like, I thought we lost. I was like, thank you, Jesus, and I just started running. And so it just it was fun.
You did the victory lap, and I must say you kept yourself together pretty well, even with the first mishap and Gordon being on your bum about it. You bounced back pretty well.
Yeah, it's pretty much, unfortunately, well, my job, sometimes, things happen. We just deal with it and keep it moving. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, you messed up. Nothing, you can't do worse from here. So it's pretty much just nut up or shut up. So I just like, man, let's get to work. So I just went in there. Eric's like, hey, need help? And he started helping me out with the second batch and stuff. So it was more like that. So it was like, I told Terry, like, hey, man, we don't do lamb chop at the station all the time like that. So I was like, I don't really want to put me with it. It's like, no, you're going to handle it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wait, I have to ask you.
I'll do it, but it's like, it ain't going to be pretty. And he's like, God, Manny, what are you doing? And I'm like, I told you.
Look, I told you. I have to ask.
They're like, oh, Manny doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, you're right. I don't know what I'm doing.
I tried to tell you that.
It's like, we don't have, in our budget for the fire station, but let's do some lamb chops for everybody. So it's like, when I got, I'm like, oh, crap, all they do is small batches, maybe making 1 or 2 racks.
Right.
But
it's got to be
75 racks. I'm like, man, I'm tripping.
It's got to be somebody's birthday at the station. Can I ask you, could you hear Nathan on the other side screaming the whole time?
I could hear him screaming. He was like, hey, you guys! I tears, hey, you guys. I'm like, and me and Eric's like, what are they doing over there? He's like, did I hear Gordon Ramsay over there cussing them out? It's like, because you can hear the barrier.
It's just a bush.
You just hear him screaming at him. He's like, God damn it, and brother, beep. And he's just going off on him, and I'm just laughing. It's kind of hard because then he comes over and screams at us. So it's like, it's like at the time you can't laugh, but then, 5 minutes later, once it was all over, I started laughing at everything. It was very fun. It was like, you can't laugh at it when it's happening to you, but once it's all over, you can laugh at it because it was just nuts and crazy. It was a blur.
Now, something that drives me crazy about Nathan, I know he's young and he's a tuxedo salesman, but the fact that he wears the bow tie and the jacket while he's cooking, that just can't be the most comfortable way to be cooking. Like, take that jacket off.
I don't know why they don't do it. He said he big keep it. He's like, I love wearing it, and it just this is who I am. I'm like, all right, man, you go do that. You have fun with that.
The Nathan voice.
So he's he has a very a voice that resonates with me so well.
Yes.
You do it so well. You do it so well.
Now, you talked about like Gordon yelling at you. Now, is it one thing, like, you've watched the show before, you've seen Gordon Ramsay on TV before, so I mean, as a fan, I watch it and I see him laughing at other people or yelling at people, and I find that entertaining. Now, for you to watch it on TV, see that laughing at it, then all of a sudden you're the one that's being yelled at by Gordon Ramsay. Is that a moment for you, like, do you have to kind of like, whoa, I'm getting yelled at, that's cool, wait, no, I'm getting yelled at, that's not great?
Well, the first time he yelled at me, I wanted to laugh, but I couldn't. I'm sitting like, don't laugh, because he got mad at Dan for laughing at him. So I was like, don't laugh at him. Just like, oh, yes, chef, and look lost and then run off. But it was surreal. Like, he's getting like, wait, I was going to say, you're getting cussed out by Gordon Ramsay right now. You know, even though he's cussing at me, saying all this stuff, it's kind of like I just had like a sidestep, like, man, this is crazy. You get cussed out by this dude. You know, it was surreal at the moment. He's like, and then I snap back in and like, oh, yes, chef, I'll go cook the lamb. And then run off, you know. So it was awesome. It was awesome. If you saw the preview for next episode, you probably saw what he did. Oh, and he got at me pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting. It's like the worst I've ever been into, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really interesting. It's a whole new level that I've never seen before. So.
We cannot wait.
Well, talking about this episode, we've got, it starts off where Gordon does a masterclass for you about breaking down a lobster. Now, how much experience, I mean, you're from Florida, so the lobster is around. How much experience did you have breaking down a lobster?
I have no experience breaking down lobster. I have had lobster, already done prepared on lobster tail, looking pretty, but it was like, most of the time, it's lobster tail. Most of the time, like Florida lobster, you don't get as much meat as they use the Maine lobster, so it's a little bit bigger, and they got more. So when he was doing like, oh crap, I was like, I barely deal with lobster on this scale. Maybe I've dealt with the tails already done, and I kind of cut them out and make them pretty, but I've never actually taken a whole lobster, breaking it down into making this beautiful masterpiece like this. So I'm like, oh wow, I'm getting to learn from him and get to see it. But then he's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna have to make this. I'm like, oh shh. That's what I was like. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, he's gonna do it and make us like do like a lobster dish. I'm like, okay, I can deal with lobster, but he's like, no, you're gonna have to do what I just did. I'm like, oh, man, this is gonna be interesting.
How long did that really take in real time? Because seeing it seemed like it took him milliseconds.
Yeah, for Gordon to break that down, it went fast.
Yes. How long was that in real time?
It was like 15 minutes. Cause I'm sitting like, cause I looked at my watch. I'm like, cause he literally he's like, hey guys, gotta humanely kill it. So I felt bad for him. He just knocked it out, bam, and then he threw in the water for 2 minutes, pulled it out, and literally he just like bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, here you go. And this is how you get the meat out of the legs. I'm like, man, you trip to get meat out of the legs? That's what I was like, this guy's good. But it went by quick. He did like in less than 15 minutes. He was still pretty.
That's still amazing.
Man. And because I know they got the camera, do they have like so many cameras around you guys shooting all that? Because they can't make him stop and do it again.
I think it was like 1, 2, 3. It's like literally like camera almost assigned to each row. Plus you had like this big boom one. It's like it had at least 20 cameras in there. All the camera setup and stuff like that. It's ridiculous amount of cameers they have and the amount of people they have. It's crazy. You get used to it. You kind of forget about it. But after a while, you have all those cameras there and people, and all the people working off the side and stuff. You totally forget about it once you start getting into it. But there's so many people in production back there. They do a great job over there in production.
Now, I feel for me, and I don't know if you would think like this, but if I was watching Gordon breaking down this lobster, I'd be trying to pay so close attention to everything he's doing, but then also I'd be in my head like maybe kind of like, whoa, I'm watching Gordon Ramsay break down a lobster in front of me, and then I'd get distracted. Like, oh wait,
easily get distracted.
Exactly what happened to me on the first challenge. The first challenge, he's doing all this crazy. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's doing this and making fish scales. I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm like, ooh, squirrel. And like I'm all put up, and I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I got to do this, so I got to pay attention more to what you can't take in the moment because you're so busy trying not to get kicked off the show.
Yes.
I'm not gonna get knocked off the first episode. You try to focus so hard, so it was like oh man, it was crazy, man. You just your head's on the swivel, like ooh, wait, ooh. It's like man, this guy, it's amazing. It was amazing. I didn't know I was gonna get one class, but now I got 3 different classes from this guy.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So Gordon shows it to everybody and then sends you back to your stations to break down your own lobsters. Going back to your station with the lobster in hand, did you feel like, all right, I've watched enough. I feel like I'm in good shape, or were you still like freaking out about having to do this?
I was still freaking out, but I didn't feel as bad as because Diamond was right next to me, and Diamond's sitting over there praying with the lobster because she didn't want to kill it. And I'm sitting there like
vegetarian,
and I'm sitting like, I don't want to kill you, play, but you got to go because I'm not getting kicked off the show. Because I'm sitting there, find myself talking to the lobster like, I'm like, why am I talking to the lobster doing this? Because I'm like, because I don't. And them things were all like, it's all pretty, but when I pick mine up, the thing want to freak out and all this stuff. I'm like, So I was like, I did not want to deal with lobster, but I'm like, all right, it's me and you. You got to go. So I know I was like still a little small freak out moment because I know I got to put it in there and the cut and stuff. And he made it look so easy, but you got all those little intricacies of like cutting the piece off and then knock it off. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to just make it happen.
It's always like every season they have a vegetarian on, and I feel like they always get flustered when they have to do something where they have to kill an animal like a lobster or something like that. And I feel like you can't, this far into this show airing, you can't think that you're not going to have to do that.
That's not going to happen, exactly.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like, there's going to be some bacon, it's going to be some, some craziness. It's always something crazy on the show. And if I wasn't expected to be this much craziness this early. Like, I was going to be like, make this. And I'm like, by the way, remake my 3-star Michelin dish on the first episode.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Well, you clearly did a great job, even though we didn't get to see it because you were upstairs.
Yeah. So let me tell you about this. Let me give you the scoop. So I was kind of sad because I had the craziest one. So when I broke my thing down, I had all the meat out of the knuckles and hands, and then I had the knuckle. Then he had the feet. Now I only got meat out of like 6 of them. It was 8 of them because literally I was breaking them, and like when I was rolling it out, meat was coming out of 3 ends. And it was like, this is not how he did it. I'm doing other stuff right there. So he comes up to me. He's like, Manny, what do you have here? And I'm like, well, I got the claw, the knuckle, the feet. Don't mind the feet. I'm missing 2 feet. But, everything's looking pretty. I got it all nice and oiled up for you. Got the head looking up at you, the piece, everything. I'm like, got it all there, man. And he says, be honest with me, Manny. Do you believe you deserve to be upstairs? And I'm like, you know what? Tell you the truth, I didn't do it perfectly compared to everybody else. Nah, I don't think so. I don't really think so. I'm prepared to do elimination. He's like, well, hang on a second. So he goes and turns around to Christina and I'm like, well, Manny, you're wrong. You're going upstairs. And I'm like, yes! I'm like, thank
that would
you.
have been a good moment to see.
I was surprised because I was jumping and just thank you and ran
like
up there, man.
Won.
I was like, you got to tell me
right.
twice. Like, you got them gone. So it was crazy. Just weird. He said, good job, Don't mind the little legs. That's extra meat. But as long as you got the main piece, I'm happy. I'm like, oh, okay. You ain't got to tell me twice. I ain't going to fight with you. So I'm going upstairs. So I wish they would have showed it. But I was like, hey, man, it is what it is. So
that just means you have way better moments that they're going to show later. So.
Yeah, the rolling pin with the legs, that's the first time I'd ever seen that happen. That was impressive, the way you just see the meat just kind of squirt out of the leg.
The only thing that concerned me, I was like, who goes around with one of those in their purses when they're like at a restaurant?
That's true, yeah.
I was like, how am I?
I got hot sauce here.
Exactly.
Here to get a little extra meat
I mean, the hot sauce, come on now. The hot sauce will probably be in my bag, swag. But I was like, where do I find one of those? Yeah. And can I get them, short size?
Yeah,
so they can fit in my purse?
That's right.
And I'll look retarded at the table trying to roll the damn.
If somebody over there, look at her roll that pin. Look at her. Take nobody nowhere. She's hitting her rolling the pin out.
Seriously.
Like
all right, now, Manny, be honest. In the time since the show's ended, how many times have you broken down a lobster since?
3 more times, actually. Surprisingly.
Really?
The entire lobster? Like that?
Because it's like, now you know it. It's like a lot of things I've learned from there. I was like, oh, I'm definitely doing that. Oh, I'm definitely doing that. The next you try the stage, I'm like, oh, I don't do lobsters at the stage because it's expensive for 22 dudes. But like, at home, when I want to press a lady, I'm like, girl, I got this whole lobster for you, girl.
Yeah.
Down for you. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, girl. Don't worry about it.
Look at this.
All this meat.
Didn't even know it was in there. Got all the meat.
Tail, got the knuckles. She's like, ooh, you're so fancy. And I'm like, thank you, boo-boo.
Yeah, that's right. I got the rolling pin with the legs. I got it all out. You're set.
You guys are making me snort on the microphone. It's
crazy. It's crazy, but it's cool. It's like after MasterChef, I tell people is that from the minute we got there, for first day we got there, to last day everybody leaves and everything, it's just that they are nonstop. Gordon and them are nonstop teaching stuff. It's just like it's a boot camp for cooking. But I mean, the minute even when we were in the guys' 4 firefighter challenges, like they didn't show, when Christina on them, but every time they broke down the dishes, they had like a lesson for us. They taught us. So I mean, it was just so much information you got from just cooking. Even the cooking of pork or different things, he gave us little insights on everything.
Oh, that's awesome. Because you always wonder when you watch that show, are the interactions that we see on camera the only interactions that you're having with the judges?
It's good stuff. Like I said, even with the lamb chop, he cussed me out like, Manny, why the hell you have raw lamb? I was like, well, what happened is that when he gave it to me, the racks, I had like little timers set up on each rack. I had it all organized. I had my little sheet for cutting. And then the windstorm happened, and then it knocked off all my timers. My timers were gone. They reset it. I didn't know what time it was, and they sent me the first one, so that's why I had raw one. But it's like, Manny, get back over there. Don't go by timers. Go by feel. Put it up at 400. Hurry up. You got 10 minutes, and keep rolling through them and keep checking them every 5 minutes, and you should be good. I'm like, okay. And, it just those different things that he gives you little insights on while you're cooking. He just always comes over to give little tidbits and leaves. So, he'll cuss you out, but then he also gives you a little tidbit, how to do this, how to do it effective. And then, he'll hit you again with another piss off. And then, it's all good.
Tough love that you're learning.
Now, with all the meat for the lobster, we see we get down to everybody who's safe, who's not safe. We get down to Alejandro, and he's got us all plated up, but then he's got this little extra, like bubblegum wad on the side of it.
The situation scared me.
I'm like, why did you put it, like, if you were so sure, like, Alejandro, why did you put it right there, like, the far corner? Like, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be.
I'm just stuffed it in there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. That was so awkward.
It was awkward, because I'm sitting there like, and he's like, Alejandro, what is this crap outside? And I'm like, oh snap, he messed up, he gone, man.
And the music changed.
I was so bad. I thought he was about to kick up. He's like, this is amazing. I'm like, oh, dang, he got it. He did it. I'm like, so, because he said, I'm like, oh, he gone, y'all. I'm sad. He gone, y'all. Let's sit like in the movie, man. It's the game over, man. He's out.
Yeah, that was a really good twist.
Yeah, it was a little twist. I'm like, oh, well, dang. Okay, good job, Alejandro.
And that's basically Chef Ramsay admitting that someone went above and beyond him.
Yeah.
That was a lot to hear him say that.
Yeah, but I don't know why Alejandro just left it in the corner. Just put it back in the lobster where it's supposed to go. It's
Maybe he just wanted to say, look at me.
Sure.
I caught something you didn't do.
It was so funny because even Gordon Ramsay, they didn't even show him because for the pie challenge for him, he made a pineapple pie, like a pineapple pie. It was like, because Gordon Ramsay said, this is weird. It was literally like, think of like a raspberry pie, but think of it as all pineapple.
Ooh.
And it was like, I never heard of a pineapple pie. And he's like, this is weird, but it's so good. And I'm like, it's weird, but it's like, you never think of a pineapple pie. He's like, I want to do something different. And then, not just did that,
Oh my gosh, his accent keeps changing. Chef Ramsay's accent keeps changing.
So when they go through the safe and the not safe, we find out that it's Diana, Lisa Ann, Nathan, Eric, and Andrea. They all have to do the elimination challenge. Now, I mean, when you guys are up there on the balcony, I mean, is it pretty much just like, oh, thank God we're not in there? Or do you get stressed off the elimination challenges?
It's like it's the same place, like, thank God I'm not up here, but it's like, you'll learn, like, because even during the breaks and stuff, Gordon Ramsay's like, if you, like, in the beginning of the game, from the beginning, it's like, if you ever get an elimination challenge, it is a bad thing, but also it's a good thing because everybody you've seen even the shows, a lot of people who get stuck in elimination challenge end up becoming stronger towards the end of the competition because they get more cook time. And that's one of the things that's kind of rough, even when you're doing it, is that you try to, like, it's so much stuff, but you don't get as much cook time as you like just to kind of mess around and cook. And every moment you get a chance to work down and cook is an advantage. At the same time, it's disadvantage because you may get kicked off. But it's like, oh man, thank God I'm safe, but dang, I don't get hands on to make this dish because, I mean, you go through and because you see them making, you kind of go in your mind how you make it and stuff. And they got actually hands on because Eric got much better, just from that. You've seen it, he get more better and stuff like that. So you'll see, it makes a difference. Those different hand on that, and it's shown in all series that people who run through the most elimination challenges usually become better and stronger towards the end of the competition. So.
Well, they find out the elimination challenge is to make Gordon's lobster tortellini. When he reveals that that's what the elimination challenge is, where you're like, oh, I could nail that if I was in that challenge. Or like, oh, thank God, I'm right up here.
Oh, thank God, because originally I thought elimination challenge was that you're going to have to use your lobster to make like a random dish, like you make a random lobster dish. I didn't know it was going to be like, hey, you need to make my lobster dish. I'm like, oh. So I'm thinking of that because I have, every time I made tortellini, it's like that commercial. He's like, show me how tortellini looks. And it's probably look like a hot mess. It just look like a, making sounds like, I know, I said, thank God I have to make that. But when he showed, like, man, that's that easy when you make it, you know? So it's like, man, I wish I could go down and like practice what he just taught us, but it's like, I'm thank God I was not doing that.
Well, the thing that always gets me is like when he folds it around the fingers and it just stays, and then you put it in the water and it cooks. Like I would think like mine would fall apart. I'm amazed at how he makes that stick.
So what happened is that he was telling us, you know, while he was doing it, like he actually made like, because he showed he makes 6. He actually made 8 of them, man. He was like, and like a couple of them messed up. But the trick was is that when he put the he has to have flour. Like he had the flour. Like every time he in between each of them, he like it's like he was watching LeBron James because he would grab flour.
I thought about that. Yes.
And like he's sitting there doing. I'm like, is he LeBron James? Because every time he'll touch it, he'll hit flour and do that. So then he puts it around his finger, and then what happened is that he had the water on like a high boil, and then he says, before I put it in, I put it on a low boil. So it's like a rolling one. So because what happens is that if it's too high, I'll actually break open the tortellini. So he actually brought it down to a low boil, then drop it in, and then let it slowly cook for 90 seconds and pulled it out. And like, you know, they didn't show that little intricacy, but all those different things he was showing us that they kind of cut from there. It was like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, do that. Like, and like every time he dealt with the pasta, anytime he moved it, he always slapped it with flour, and like it was like little things they didn't show, but he was doing like touching flour stuff like that, and he was smacking it, and it was awesome. It was something out of a movie, you know, just seeing him do all this different stuff.
He
They cut a lot of stuff out, but it
it.
was some cool stuff he did.
He finessed it. The composition was so eloquent and precise, and
the way that when he was rolling that pasta and it just got so paper thin. Like, oh man, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Have you used a pasta roller before?
I've rolled pasta a couple of times before, but it was like, here's the MasterChef kitchen. I actually practice and doing this stuff like so. It was awesome to do that, making homemade pasta. I do it at the station now, so doing those different things like that, making that pasta and doing that, or just do it in the home. It's simpler than most people think. It's not as crazy as you think it is, but you know, you have to make it by hand. But using a food processor, it's just as easy making it and just rolling down and just using that little pasta maker. Just real simple, straightforward, rolling through, and just making sure you're in flour. It's pretty cool how easy it is to make pasta.
Man.
When you go through it like with him, so it's awesome.
And again, for this dish, you guys got 45 minutes to, well, not you, but they got 45 minutes. He was able to demonstrate that in under 45 minutes. Is
Yes,
correct?
he did it in 30 minutes, like a 30-minute meal. I'm like, this dude just did it in 30 minutes, like it was nothing.
Wow.
And he was still having problems with it. Don't get me wrong, like he was doing like, damn it, you know, like he was doing stuff, but for the most part, like, because the biggest thing he was having problems with was the making the pasta super thin, and also not too thin, because he made one that kind of bust open, so he had to make another one. So it was even hard for him that they didn't even show that. But yeah, because he made 6 of them, he had made an assurance one, and then they actually ended up using it. So it was because he told them, guys, make sure you make more than 5.
Oh, right.
Like he was sitting there saying I usually make 8 or 10 of them, but just for insurance policy, you need to make at least more than 5.
Man. That's good to know that Gordon Ramsay can still struggle and have some pasta burst on him and stuff like that. All right, I feel better now. I feel better. All right.
Yeah. Now, he's still good, but yeah, they ain't gonna show that on TV.
Yeah, of course.
I am the master.
But for you, getting to watch him break down and make this lobster tortellini, much easier to take in the lesson when you don't have to worry about like, oh, I've got to do this for a challenge now.
Oh yeah, it was much easier. Laid back. Okay, doing that. The only thing you didn't get to sample it, because everybody downstairs got to sample his food. So I sampled his first dish, the fish, the halibut fish, and it was awesome. But I was like, man, I wish I could get to sample that and see what the flavors she's trying to do with that. So that was really good. I wish that was the only thing, you don't get to taste it.
There's no shot of you just like sneaking down the staircase, just kind of like, excuse me for a second. All right, thanks,
it was like food Nazis when it comes to like food on the set. It's like once you finish cooking, you better not eat no food. Like they were like, hey, you better not eat no food. I'm like, hey, all right. So that's what happens. They said, man, why is Manny eating all the time? I said, okay, I know how to eat around this. So I ate while I cooked. So that's why they're like, oh, why is he always eating? I'm tasting the food, but actually made me a second meal while I was cooking. So I'm not gonna be hungry. I'm gonna be cooking. So that's all the time I do. So.
So even after they've judged your dishes and they're kind of evaluating, and you're just kind of sitting around, you can't even eat like any of the extra food that you used to have laying around?
No, they do not. They just say, hey, do not touch none of the food. It's shots, don't touch stuff like that. So they like, and they get real bad. Because somebody tried to sneak some food out like the first week. You're like, oh, no. Don't you ever do that again. I'm like, okay, all right. So, yeah.
Someone's got to eat that.
Yeah, but like, why don't they want people to sneak the food or even just eat the food?
I think because it's that they don't want nobody tasting other people's food. So
to see what they put in and what they can do different, how they could tweak it. Okay, that makes sense.
So it's like nobody touches it because then also nobody can accuse nobody of touching my food or messing up, sabotage. So they making sure like, there's no policy. Once the food is up, don't touch nothing. And
that actually makes sense.
So. Oh man! All right. Now, as they have to make this dish, part of it is that they use some liqueur in there to burn off some of that when they're cooking with the lobster shells. And Nathan, come on! He starts freaking out. I'm a son of a pastor. I'm not allowed to touch liquor.
Can't even look at it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Nathan, come on with you now.
Yes, he is very serious about that. You know, little side stories, but like when we first started, like when we were down to the four of us, the four chefs. We were all down, and we were, each of us had roommates, whatever. His roommate was Joe, and he had some alcohol, had some wine and stuff like that. He had some wines and stuff he had, so he had to get rid of the wine. He was my next day. He came, he's like, hey, can you come get this wine out of my room? I'm like, you can't get the wine out your room? I need to get the wine out of the room. I can't touch it. I'm like, okay, I'll get the wine. I was like, he was making a big deal. I'm like, okay, I don't want to touch wine. I don't want nobody accusing me of drinking. Okay, man.
Oh boy.
So he's serious about that. So he's very serious about not touching any alcoholic.
He definitely knew what to do with it because his broth was amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean he did a great job with the broth. Now we had Lisa Ann on last week, and I mean what a personality she is. She's a character.
Yes, she is.
But I mean, she with her Sicilian roots there, I thought she was going to kick ass, and even all the judges thought that. Man, what was it like what they're watching her? Because it went wrong right from the get-go.
In the beginning. So I'm sitting looking at it. He's like, all right, guys, when I cook, first thing you got to do is make the pasta. And I'm like, okay, makes sense because you have to let it sit and rest. Mm-hmm. And then you go to the seafood broth and you come back to the pasta. I'm like, okay, cool, that's straightforward. And I see Lisa, they start the competition and he started making the broth. I'm like, Lisa, make the pasta. Oh, I got to. I'm like, okay, do you, boo-boo. She goes over there. She's like, I got to. I'm like, I don't know what you doing. I'm like, he told us, first thing you need to do. He's like, you got to make the pasta first. In this time period, you got to, like, he sat there for like a good, like during the whole cook, he says, make your pasta first. Make your pasta first. Like, he sat there and he sitting there like, hey, guys, make your pasta first. Make your pasta first. You got to, because you have to let the gluten rest. And she's like, okay. And literally she goes over and does the exact opposite. And I'm sitting there like, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is going to be a long night for you, girl. So I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I got it. I'm like, okay, you the boss. You know what you're doing over here. You the Sicilian. So I'm like, you do you, boo-boo. So
she did her.
It was just seeing her try to roll that pasta out when she finally got to it. It's just like all over the place and just looks so bad.
It was really sad.
Oh, but your boy Eric, though, I mean, look at that. He bounced back. I mean, he was coming on strong. He looked like really confident during the whole prep of that meal.
He was doing good, and I'm sitting there like looking at him. I'm like, all right, good, you're doing it. And I see him pull out the ring because you have to use a little ring set, and like you have like 7 different sizes. And I saw him because Gordon used like the second to last, like he used the biggest one, or the second largest biggest one. I saw him like, okay, he grabbed it. So I saw him grab it. I'm like, man, that thing looks small. And literally, and like he put the first one, was like, hey, that's the wrong size. And he like, I guess he was in the zone. He like started bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm like, that's the wrong size. That's the wrong size. And he like, and then it's literally like, you got 5 minutes left. And I'm like, oh man, bump it, just keep going, just finish it. It's like you gotta finish it, just keep going, even though it's small, but keep going.
And he can hear every word of encouragement from you up on the balcony.
Yeah, I was sitting like on this, but like, man, you better hurry and finish. You got 3 minutes left.
Because what is it if you're down on the floor and you got people yelling at you in the balcony? Is it easy to hear what they're saying, or do you just kind of tune them out because you're just kind of like so focused on getting the meal done?
Usually, you just hurry and get done. Because I remember when we had I was cooking with the fish instead of the halibut. You hear him like, "Ooh, good job," and And I'm like, after a while, you're like, girl, if you don't stop talking. So like you feel like your Monday morning quarterback. Like, ooh, you gonna do that? I'm like,
Yeah.
you gonna help me out or something? You trying to tell me something? Like it's like. So it's like after a while you start tuning them out because it's like, you're like, oh, so I'm like, I understand when Eric probably was tuning me out probably after like the first 5 minutes I was screaming at him. So I totally understand it because it gets nerving. Like you try to work and you're like, I don't know, girl, I don't know. And I'm like, so he probably tuned me out.
Oh, I loved hearing you though that when you're yelling at Eric to finish, you better finish.
Exactly. The camaraderie is amazing. Like everyone that was on the balcony, listening to everyone cheering them on and screaming. I like that a lot.
That was nice. And then at the end, though, where you see at the end, because they're supposed to pour the broth, and Gordon did such a thing where he's like, pour it over the spoon and let it go in, and you just see people just like dumping it right on the toilet.
And you hear Tenoria, though. Tenoria was like, over the spoon, over the spoon. I'm not sure if she was talking to someone specifically or the group, but there were some that took the advice and some that were like, F it.
Yeah, it's like, you got 1 minute left. I see people like,
Splash.
I was like, oh my God. He's like, you better get that spoon. He's like, right. And I was screaming like, spoon. So yeah, it was like, people just kind of go out the window. It's like Nathan would just, I don't know what Nathan was doing because it's like, hey guys, he says, when you flambe, you got to be careful and just keep everything at the thing. Don't lift it up and walk around with it. And when Nathan did it, he lit his off. He literally picked it up and started walking around with it and tried to blow it out. Like he's like, I'm like, Nathan, put it down. He's like, no, it's from the fire. I'm like, put it down. So it's, it's crazy. It was, it's crazy. You trying to tell them and they don't listen. They just doing their own thing downstairs. So. Well,
speaking of that, with the flambe, Lisa Ann almost blows up Gordon.
She singed his eyebrows.
Oh God, because I'm sitting in and it's like. I know, because I'm sitting like, how you see a train wreck happening, but it's kind of sitting like, I don't know if she gonna do that. Because I see, okay, she poured the liquor, and Gordon Ramsay's like bending over like, yeah, so what you gonna do? And I'm like, she gonna burn his eyebrows. And she's like, because she started putting that towards him, and I'm like, oh, this is not going good. And then she took a lighter and poof, and he like, oh. I felt like he was like ready for that, because he's sitting like he was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, he finna burn her. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. And it literally just, oh no. I'm like, you saw it happening, but he's like, you just couldn't, like, is this gonna really happen? I don't know if they gonna really, she gonna light it on his eyes. And she's like, oh my goodness. She was all flustered. So that didn't really help her case.
That was really, really, really scary. I have a question for you. Your favorite competitor, female and male?
All right, favorite male competitor, or just it was the best one to hang out with. This was it's Eric, and behind Dave, it was like we were pretty tight because after the red one, we all got pretty tight, whatever. And the female, my girl Tenoria, and who was that? Tenoria was good, and then Diamond. It was like the people we all like, hey.
Okay, but cooking skill wise.
Oh, cooking skill wise, hands
no, I want to hear both.
Well,
yeah.
Guy, just straight skill, because in the pie challenge they didn't even show him. Even though Terry won the challenge, I wish it would have showed Sean's on. Sean was really good. He's like from the beginning. He does crazy stuff. You saw in the beginning. He's always doing crazy stuff off the beginning. Right. He's been kind of quiet some of that, but he has a lot of technique. I've seen like when I was doing the pie challenge, the stuff he was doing, and he did the lemon meringue pie, man. He was crazy. I mean, he's pretty technical wise with him. Even just before coming in, he has all this stuff. And female wise, I know Tenoria is going to be the one that's going to give the most, because she, even though people peg her as a Southern cook, she has a lot more technical skill.
Yes.
Coming in, so that's why it's you look at them like, all right, these are the two I need to watch out for from the beginning.
It's interesting with Sean, because I know the first couple episodes during some of the challenges, he was always like flustered trying to get it done in time,
right.
And I was like, man, is this how he's always going to be? But it seemed like these couple episodes since, he's kind of calmed down and kind of gotten into the groove.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. It's it's a lot for everybody, because you want to try to impress them it pressed the judge, like, I got to do this, and do that. But then it's like, you only give you 10 minutes, or you give you 30 minutes or an hour to do so much in such a small period of time. So it's like, do you want to impress them, or do you want to finish? Or it's like, so many different things. Everybody start to learn. And, week by week, you just say, okay, I learned that. Maybe I need, you start learning time management and learn, okay, what can I do, what I can't do. So it's every week, you kind of evolve and get better.
Well, that was one thing when Diana brought her dish up, and she brought up 5, but 3 of the tortellinis were really busted and not really good. And she had 2 okay ones. And Gordon said, I'd rather you just bring me up the 2 and not bring up all 5, because you bringing up all 5 shows me that you don't care, you don't respect me in terms of the quality.
I feel like that would have been totally opposite had she done that.
Yeah,
I still feel like she would have been damned if you did.
I'm like,
yeah.
So if I brought up 2 tortellini, you'd be like, all right, this is beautiful. These are perfect.
No.
But he got my butt like, why did you have 5 of these? And I told you 5. You gonna do 6? Do you want to be here? I just feel that.
Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. So that's why I was like, okay, like at least you put 5 on the plate.
Yeah. I'll give it a speaking. It's like, damn, like stand up. Do you want to be here? I mean, Lisa Ann really got into it with Gordon about it, if she wanted to be there or not.
You ever seen that meme where like, you're hanging at your friend's house and then your best friend starts cussing out the parents, and like you just sit there stuck in like a weird position, like, what's happening right now? It's like you just sit there like she's just like, what's the feeling? And I'm like, ooh, I'm sitting like, ooh, don't, this is awkward, because she's just going in. I'm like, I don't know if you should do that right now in this situation. Maybe hold that off like another one, but not right now when you talk about eliminating somebody right now.
I thought that was going to save her.
Yeah. Now, did that conversation, because it was intense, but it wasn't in that long of the episode. Did it go on much longer in real time?
It felt a long time to me. But I don't know. She's like, I think she was the bigger the case. I'm Cecilia. I'm defending myself. I'll never do this. And she was just going, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, she's picking her point. Like, she's fighting for it. I thought she was fighting for herself right there. But inside of me, I'm like, well, Gordon Ramsay, when he's the chef in the kitchen, he would never want nobody, if he's the head chef, whatever he says, yes, chef, and keep it moving. That's always,
Absolutely.
anything I see, whether it's, this one, Hell's Kitchen, any of them, it's like, if you go off on Gordon Ramsay, I've never seen nobody go off on Gordon Ramsay and be like a good outcome. Like,
that's true.
Right. It's like, he's like, oh, no, you didn't. And then he comes right back at you.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Well, it didn't work out as Manny is saying. It never has a good outcome when you go up against Gordon Ramsay, because Lisa Ann is eliminated from this season. Yeah, so you lost her chance. But Manny, you are still in the competition, sir.
I'm sure is.
Yes. But as you teased a little bit, and we saw from the sneak peek for next week, man, I always see you, Gordon, and you Gordon gets up in your business a little bit next week.
Yes, he does.
Are you gonna learn something next week? You gonna learn something?
You're gonna learn today. Learn today.
Well, Manny, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll come back again, because we'd love to talk about an episode where you are featured more in the episode. I know you. Thanks so much for giving us all the backstory for a lot of stuff.
Yes, all our AfterBuzzers are on our live chat, and they really appreciate the backstories.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yes.
They
mean a lot.
Holla at a player at Chef Manny MD, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Pigeon, Smoke Signal, all that stuff.
Smoke Signal.
Get your smoke signals out, everybody. Get in touch with Chef Manny. That's right. Manny, thank you so much for coming on. We want to have you back on this season, so please, we'll drag you back in.
We sure will.
Just like The Godfather. You're done. All right, Manny, have a great night.
Bye, Manny.
Gotta be safe.
Thanks. All right, so look at that, Manny, awesome.
That was some really insightful information. I feel like I got some juice, I got some tea, lemonade.
And I'm glad the chat room, glad you guys enjoyed all of Manny's backstory about this episode there.
Yes, most definitely. Everyone was very happy about the backstories, because that's the stuff we don't see, and they can't cover everything.
Yeah.
So we love it.
And we'll get Manny back on for an episode where he gets a little bit more of the focus there. But in the meantime, if you want to continue the conversation with us even after the show is over, Rhavin, where can they find you?
they can find Rhavin with the V at B Stays Busy. And shout out to Maria. We miss you.
Yeah, we do.
And I'm hungry.
That's right. we miss you. I mean, it's not the food.
We miss your
but
fingers.
it's really the food. But it's not the food. And folks, thanks so much for watching us. We really enjoy you guys being part of the chat. If you do, like us on Facebook. There's like us on Facebook,
YouTube, and
5 stars on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter. You can follow me, Frank Moran, at Happy Go Jackie, and we'll be back here next week with Maria back in the seat here too, with some food maybe in front of our faces. They're on AfterBuzz TV for the MasterChef After Show. We'll see you
guys
next time.
week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.